channel, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about stamping the inside of rings. So I've got these stamps, there's two I bought. I've got SV925 and PT950 and a custom one I had made, CB, my initials on there, my handwriting. So I'm going to be using these. They're a bit tricky to use and they seem to have their own characteristics. Like the one I used in London, the firm I worked for, my only real concern was getting it in a correct position, like straight and right in the middle of the shank. My CB one here, really prone to jumping. I get double stamps really easily on this. So I wanted to, partly for myself as well, make a video on finding the best technique. And I want to know as well, I want to find out, I'm just going to try loads of times right inside this ring. I want to find out a good way, kind of fail-safe, fail-proof way of actually getting a decent, solid, central, clear stamp exactly where I want it. I'm going to get into it after I said thank you to Daniela Plasencia, Mexico en la casa. Thank you very much, Daniela. Yeah, asking for patrons on this channel because the financial contributions, really as simple as that, enable me to continue making the videos. So if you become a patron, it's patreon.com/downmounter. You get a shout out on the next upload after you join. You get access to the new YouTube videos 2 weeks before they go public on YouTube. And if you become a classic or official patron, you'll get access to all the full instructional guides. And then official patron is the top tier. You get all of that plus ability to message me and I'll help you out personally with your jewelry making endeavors, and there's exclusive content as well I'm creating only for the official patrons. So let's get into the video. Let's try and sort this out once and for all. I was looking in my box of bits I've made in the past. I found this. This is literally what I made in one of my very first, I think it was the first full instructional guide I made, a 3-stone ring. I made it in a sort of simple, easy way. This is it. This is the ring from that video. So anyway, I'm going to go around it now and do some stamp marks on it. So I want to experiment with it and try and practice with it and get good at it, because it's such a shame if you make a nice piece of jewelry and then right up to the finishing stage, perhaps you might do this before polishing out the inside. It's such a shame if you balls it up or if it slips off and you gouge the side or something. Yeah, it's a horrible thing to happen if you put loads of work in and made something quite special. So anyway, so you wanna be confident with using these. So I think it's worthwhile if you get some, especially if you had a custom one made like me. You should get a silver ring or even just make a ring especially for doing this, and just go around it, practice using it a few times, find out its characteristics, because they all appear to be different in my experience, the way you've got to use them. So anyway, this is the troublesome one. What I do is, I would recommend, I haven't got to, but it just makes it easier for lining up, I just put a black line, like right in the middle. And you'll find out why as soon as you pick one up and try it. Just putting that on the shank anywhere, it's a bit difficult to see if it's central or not, because you can go one side or the other. Especially important when on a thin ring shank, you don't want to go over the edge and gouge the side, you want it right in the middle. Very little room for manoeuvre on a narrow one. Also mentioning that, if you are ordering one, consider the depth of it and the kind of jewellery you're making. If you're only making big wide shank stuff, then don't worry too much, but if you're making delicate thin shank rings, you need a small one. Now I've got a black mark on there, I can see clearly, but even that, I would quite often choose my watchmaker's eyeglass and just have a close look. I want to see it from that angle and that angle. I want to look across to see if I like it. And that, even that looks like it's on my black mark, which it is actually a bit more on that side. I just found out from looking at it closely. So I'm going to try and hit this nicely, but I bet it jumps. After you've done this, have your hammer close by so you don't have to search for it whilst holding this in position. So get your hammer ready before you start trying to line this up. The trick is you want to try and hold the ring steady. You want to try and hold the ring steady and then stamp it in one attempt with that stamp completely vertical, nice and central on the ring, that the ring's not rocking left or right, everything's all central and nice. You want to just be able to bang it once and get a nice deep clear mark on there. Okay, so let's try this. Sorry, I'll find when I do it next time, I'll find a better angle. I'm just gonna have a go at this with my hand in the way. All right, let's have a look at the damage. So a bit low, look, a bit low, and it squashed out the sides. It's not the end of the world, that would do, I'd leave that. What I'd do is just tap that on the side, but look what a flat it put on the back of your shank. If you've got a D-section shank, a bit rounded, definitely gonna put a flat on it if you bang it against your metal block. But it's far from being irreparable. What I would do is simply put it on my metal block, tap it that side, tap it that side, have a look. Probably 10 times loop it again, see if that distorted the letters at all. It hasn't really, but my letters are right on the edge, so a little bit poor positioning on my behalf. But that little flat section I put on there, if it's bad, like this one, like if I was really going for this and finishing it, I would gently put my saw blade over it, file blade over it. Not doing that too much, just gently rocking it. So it's like doing this. And you might have to touch the side again as well if you've been hammering it. You might not need to file, you might just go straight to a kind of coarse buff stick. Anyway, so that one actually is quite good because compared to last time I tried it. Last time I tried it, it jumped quite bad. So let me try the other punches and I'll tell you the difference and what it's like using them. So let's try the other two, or at least one of them now, because there's more letters, so they're wider. You need to consider that. If you loop them, well, I can see with my eyes anyway, they are, because there's more letters, and these are specifically for the inside of rings, they do go on a bit of a curve to help get a decent stamp on the inside of a ring. So let's have a go. I'm just going to bang this. Ideally, what I tend to do is just put my hammer on top, and then I'm going to go to hit it quite hard just once. So it's important that stamp is actually vertical. If it's at an angle and I hit it hard, it's going to slip off and make a horrible mark. So one last check. I like how it's sitting. Hammer on top. Give it a bang. I think that double jump, that was terrible. That's so bad. I'll try again next to it. See if I can redeem myself. Tell you what I'm going to do. That double jumped, I'll show you up close in a sec, but let's put something down on the metal block just to reduce the vibration and bounce a little bit. You don't want to completely absorb all the shock because you want to transfer the shock of the hammer through the stamp into the metal. That's what actually pushes the stamp into the metal. You can't just eliminate all that vibration. So let's just put a bit of plastic down first. See if I can do a better one. This stamp is difficult to use though. I don't remember having this much trouble with them in London. But they were different stamps. That's what makes me think they've got their own sort of characteristics. So it's really awkward. Keep moving. Okay, again, let's try again. Bit of plastic down, see if it jumps like it did before. It didn't. That is better, but still not great. I'll show you up close what mess I'm making. See that? It did sort of stamp okay, but it bounced and then sort of did it again, got a ghost version, and it's slightly wonky. That's something you need to consider. With these long ones, it's more unforgiving if you tilt it slightly. It doesn't go along the inside of the, like parallel to the sides. So you gotta watch out for that. Both mine are a little bit wrong. So it's in there, but they've double stamped it a little bit. But when you've got like a double stamp and things are like a really light, sort of faint bit of double stamping, you can paper over them. If you get lucky, it'll be perfect after that. So that's quite good. Apart from tilting down a little bit, it's all right now. So I'm going to try the last stamp, the SV925, with this piece of leather down, chunky bit of soft leather. I think that's too much padding for this to work. Because like I said before, you need that shock, that vibration, that sudden shock to push, for this to push into the metal. If you absorb it too much, you might be stopping the ring slipping about, but you're going to need to hit it so much harder to get that stamp to go in. And I think worrying about hitting it harder than usual will cause more problems than you'll solve by having that pad down. Anyway, let's give myself the best chance possible. Get a little black line down the middle. Yeah, this one feels even wider than that PT950 one. The ring definitely feels more sturdy on there, so that's helpful. Okay, let's give it a whack. So ring straight. Let's practice not getting it tilted. So that's in there straight. Stamp is vertical in the middle. It does feel much easier to hold on to it with that leather there though. Let's see how it affects the stamp actual working as it should. That. So I may actually have been wrong. That padding may not have been too much. That's actually worked all right. It was easier to hold the ring steady, and I perhaps hit it a little bit harder, but it didn't double jump or anything. It's worked okay. I'm gonna try that leather again, but with my CB stamp, which I know is very jumpy. See how it works. Okay, just put it in there. Ring straight, stamped vertical, hammers at the ready. Do you know what? I think this leather's really good. I thought it was way too much padding, but that's... Oh, okay, right, I'm using that from now on. That's really good. So I'm glad I'm making this video, because this is exactly what I wanted to learn. Look at that. Held the ring steady. It wasn't slipping about on the block like before, and then you can see I've hit it more tilted slightly to the right, but that's okay. Look, that's stamped on there. I've gone a little bit close to the bottom as well. I need to watch out for that, use that stamp. It's hard to see where it's lined up nicely. Okay, cool. A little bit of leather is my go-to aid for stamping from now on. That's soft bit of leather. This actually was a cut-off from a leftover bit of skin for a jeweler's workbench. It's a soft, flappy leather, by the way. Maybe just a bit of cheap leather belt, some like fake PVC, anything. You just want something. I think I still would guess that's too padded, but it's working really well. Just the ring doesn't slip about like it does on a metal block. And then also I should have checked the back of the shank as well. It hasn't dented the back of the shank. Perfect. Literally nothing. It's not flattened at all like that first one I did. You remember I filed it and stuff on the back. Okay, yeah, double win. Ring doesn't slip about, doesn't dent the ring as well on the back side. Cool, leather. That's what you want. So that's it for this video, just going over the benefits again. Piece of leather I found stopped the ring jumping, so that helped the stamp actually work really well. The ring wasn't slipping about while I was trying to line everything up, and also stops the back of the shank getting dented, so a triple win for that. Really helps a lot. So definitely I recommend getting something like that, or something a bit similar, some soft padded bit of, maybe even just a bit of cotton folded in half, just something that's going to help you do a better job with your stamp. And as for that, that's the end of the video. If you wouldn't mind clicking like and subscribe, if you haven't done so already, helps the channel grow. If you want to take it a step further, you can become a Diamond Mouter member, look for a join button on the YouTube page, or even better than that, become a Diamond Mouter patron. It's patreon.com/Diamond Mouter, link in description. If you don't want to type that, don't blame you. Just click on that link and you become a patron, and that really enables me to continue making more videos and teaching what I've got to offer skill-wise for making jewellery. See you on the next one.